In your first media conference as Prime Minister, when you were asked about abortion or the topic came up, you said, my views are pretty well known, and that is that you oppose decriminalisation of abortion. Would that be a fair thing to say?
Yes, that's right.
And look, we thank you for that strong stance, because it's quite refreshing coming out of Parliament, because there's a very strong voice to say, look, it's just a woman's choice, it's got none of our business, it's between her and a doctor. We saw that on the news during the week. What's your response? Do you think the law actually needs to be tightened up rather than decriminalised and liberalised?
Well, the law may, if the law influenced decisions in that way, then I personally would prefer at least the current law administered in the way that was intended. But look, after a long time in Parliament, the law generally, not always, but generally will end up reflecting the broader preferences of the community. Parliamentarians have a role in the debate that goes with shaping the law, but most people have a different view than I do about abortion. I think that's reflected not just in the law, but also in the sort of practice of it. So as our community preferences change, then maybe the law might change. The fact is abortion rates have been dropping, which I think is a good thing. Certainly think it's a good thing. And, who knows in time what social attitudes might be. But in the meantime, the law is how it is. We're not proposing to change it.
So in 2011, the Court of Appeal said that the unborn child doesn't have a right to life. Do you think the law should say that an unborn child has a right to life?
Well, that's my view. I don't see that the Parliament's going to shift that. I think simply because it wouldn't want to contemplate the implications of that.
So it's a numbers game, really?
Well, I mean, the law is all about majorities and community preferences, and that hasn't changed in a long time.
Germany, France, Belgium, Uruguay, 38 American states have improved their abortion law by introducing informed consent, about informing women about the risks and alternatives, to make sure there's no coercion, the boyfriend pressuring to get the abortion. Would you personally support a bill like that?
Well, if it was going to change the current framework, then subject to what's actually in it, I'm always interested in measures that would ensure that the people who make the decisions are making it on a sound basis. We have informed consent in New Zealand, though the requirements around informed consent are fairly significant across all medical procedures. I think the reality is, in the case of the abortion law, that it's quite difficult to find someone who would take up the issue in a legal way to contest whether consent was informed. But certainly, under New Zealand law, people are meant to be giving fully informed consent.
But when you were Minister of Health, you butted your heads a little bit, didn't you, trying to get better information to women?
Yeah, that was, I think, a discussion at the time over whether a government publication should include pictures of a fetus, which I think these days would be regarded as quite acceptable and normal. And those times were seen as, symbolic of essentially a particular view about abortion. But I think things have moved on. I mean, the accessibility and clarity of modern imaging means that I don't think anyone can say they don't know that much about the presence or development of a fetus. Parental
notification, you voted for parental notification for parents being told if their teenager was pregnant and considering an abortion. In 2004, you voted for it. A petition came before a select committee last year by Hilary Kieft, whose daughter was sneaked off for an abortion. And the National Party voted against that petition proceeding or responding to it. Do you support that decision? I mean, well, firstly, do you still support parental notification?
I do, yes.
So why did National Party reject that petition in an attempt to change the law?
Well, the petition isn't, well, in the first case there'll be some procedural issues about what exactly you do with the petition. But look, the members of the committee would be, you know, they vote the way they vote. There wouldn't be a party position on it.
No.
But certainly my view hasn't changed.